a conversation I've been looking forward to all day, and not just because it's Minecraft. Please welcome from Microsoft Research, Katja Hoffman. Hi, Katja.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for joining us and being a part of our Build Digital stream. We are well underway, but we
No
had to
worries.
include this session. So first things first, Katja, tell us what you do at Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm a principal researcher at Microsoft Research in Cambridge, here in the UK. And I'm the lead of a team called Game Intelligence. And what we do is we see our mission as advancing the state of the art in machine learning, especially reinforcement learning, to enable future applications where we're especially looking at applications in the video game space.
Very nice, very nice. And every time I go to Microsoft Research Cambridge, I actually haven't been in a while. I'm trying to get myself a little invite there. It's such an inspiring space, and to hear what everyone's working on. So it's amazing to hear kind of about your team and what they're doing. Now, I know you collaborate very closely with other parts of Microsoft, but before we dive into where those collaborations have been, in the title of this session, you talk about reinforcement learning. I know that you and your team are super specialists in that space, but can you break it down for everyone in our developer audience?
Absolutely. So reinforcement learning is a type of machine learning where we model a system as an agent that is embodied in some environment. And it has to interact with that environment, taking actions and learning about the consequences of these actions. So it's fascinating for two reasons to me. One, it kind of models this trial and error learning that intuitively aligns really well with a lot of the learning that we do as humans. At the same time, when we take kind of these new mathematical foundations, there's a really principled approach to learning how to make optimal decisions in complex environments. And this is a very general, very powerful technique. So what I'm so excited about is that this kind of technology, as it kind of becomes more widely available, will enable a huge number of new applications, some of which we can already envision, and some will be developed, many will be developed by the community of users and developers when they get access to this technology. One kind of thing I wanted to connect this to, kind of you asked about some of our kind of research side. What's so exciting about being at Microsoft Research is that we have both that rooting in the academic research community, working to drive improvements in the state of the art, developing new technology. And at the same time, we have all these collaborations kind of branching out to different partners and product teams across Microsoft to understand how whatever we developed can then be taken a step further, democratized, made available to developers worldwide.
Amazing. I was going to say, and from what I understand, from being a part of the machine learning community, reinforcement learning is number one. It's hard. It consumes or has to optimize across a lot of data, and understanding kind of that environment and how big that environment can be. You know, a world, for example, is unbelievable. And kind of seeing reinforcement learning coming out of research and kind of starting to hit the mainstream with our developer community. So thinking about things like the Azure Cognitive Service with the personalizer service, it was fascinating to see that come to fruition and people start being able to use it. But I know you've been collaborating. So who have you been collaborating with inside Microsoft?
It's a very exciting collaboration that we've just started to publicize with a team at Azure ML, especially the team of Keiji Kanazawa. We've collaborated with them over the past year to try and understand what it means to take reinforcement learning to a much broader audience, to developers. And so we have just announced in preview Azure ML Reinforcement Learning, which is a platform on Azure where now everyone can go and can try out reinforcement learning and can start to learn and understand what this technology means, and hopefully come up with exciting new applications that make use of this powerful technology.
Fantastic. Oh, well, I'm an avid user of Azure Machine Learning, so I'm really excited. Not that I want to wish away our time on Build Digital, but to go and try that myself as well. I know we have some amazing documentation already published on that, so people can follow along. And talk to me about how Minecraft is involved with this. Is that part of the like storyline?
That is a fantastic question. And Minecraft really comes back and connects to our journey as a research group and constantly kind of challenging ourselves and trying to figure out how we can both push the state of the art in reinforcement learning and at the same time bring whatever we develop closer to developers and into real world applications. We started the research journey with a project called Project Malmo, which we released almost exactly 4 years ago. So this was a platform for AI experimentation that is built on top of the game Minecraft, where our goal was to make it as easy as possible for reinforcement learning researchers, students, enthusiasts to use Minecraft as a platform to implement their own experiments and get started both learning reinforcement learning and also pushing the state of the art in this space. And maybe just to give you an example there from the research side, even today, 4 years later, Minecraft as a game really keeps pushing us in very, very exciting, interesting directions. For example, we just published a paper at the ICLR conference, the Conference on Representation Learning, which is one of the major kind of academic conferences, where we looked at examples in Minecraft and tried to understand how we could create an agent's memory so that it would more easily, more quickly learn really long-term dependencies, for example, from picking up a key to understanding whether it needed to use that key to unlock a door. And so this is just one example of how we continue to use this as a platform. And many in the community, in the research community, are using this as a platform to push the state of the art. What's exciting about the new announcement with Azure ML today is that now every developer can go to Azure ML and can start it to learn about reinforcement learning with an example in Minecraft. So you can go online onto Azure ML today and you can train your very own agent that learns to solve mazes and learns how to not die in lava as much.
Oh, I still vividly remember this from Project Malmo. I think it must have been about 4 years ago then. I think I saw you giving a presentation and literally on the screen. I think at this point I did go, wow, I am so in the right place here in technology, because we were just like wandering an agent around a maze, and then like it was, I mean, it's a bit like The Sims or something, because it's you kind of watch it learn, and so it's running into the fire and it's running into the walls, and then all of a sudden it starts to finally learn the right path after being rewarded. So no, that's absolutely fascinating, and I love that element that we've integrated it into Azure Machine Learning, but we are also thinking about like, not just telling people like it can be done, but kind of giving some of those samples. It's definitely the way I work. I go and look at the docs, and then I'll go and do it myself, and I'll build the sample. But then it's that next step, and I think having something, a framework to build on rather than a blank page, is often extremely useful. And so I think we have a short link where you can all go and find out where to find these bits of documentation, and that is aka.ms/AzureML-RL, so RL for reinforcement learning. And Katja, I know you've been working a lot with the Azure Machine Learning team. I know that Minecraft has been the center of kind of a lot of the research that you do, and then bring in, kind of the idea of reinforcement learning. Can you clarify, why is Minecraft such a crucial environment for reinforcement learning? Why have you found it so useful?
That is a fantastic question, Amy. And again, this really goes back to kind of our foundation as a research group. We started this project. We were looking for an environment that would allow us to keep pushing the state of the art in reinforcement learning for many, many years, even decades to come. And so with Minecraft being such an open-ended game, once we started to investigate and look at it, it really became clear very quickly that this was the ideal kind of platform for pushing this kind of more general set of insights, that more general learning. There are two key characteristics that I like particularly about Minecraft. On the one hand, there's really this open-ended nature. So you can start from kind of experiments that are pretty straightforward, that can be easily solved with the current state of the art, like the Minecraft maze that we see in the Azure ML Samples. But at the same time, you can use any Minecraft world as the foundation for your experiment. And you can kind of start to think about, okay, what would it take to have an agent learn really complex tasks? For example, mining resources like diamonds, which is something that we run as a research competition late last year, all the way up to understanding how agents can learn to collaborate with human players. And so the second characteristic that I'm really excited about is that in a game like Minecraft, you can easily put AI agents and human players into this environment on a kind of roughly equal footing. So this allows us to drive research along the lines of learning to collaborate with humans. And so our long-term goal is really to develop the foundations of technology that allows us to develop better AI systems that can understand what a human player or a human user is trying to do and understand how to effectively support or in a way collaborate towards shared goals. And so Minecraft opens up all those possibilities. That's why we're so excited about it.
Amazing. No, it's great to hear like why that was picked as such an amazing environment for people to go ahead and start learning. And like you said, I love the idea that this is like future looking as well. The world is so in Minecraft, like there's so many things you can do with it that we can continue to expand kind of the agents and what they can do. And I guess a quick one as well on. We spoke about reinforcement learning coming out of research. We're now integrating it and using it inside cloud services. Where are we seeing reinforcement learning being used in the industry? Are we seeing people using it at the moment, or are we still very early?
Mm-hmm. Again, fantastic question there. I think of reinforcement learning as still being at the very, very early stages in terms of application areas. Nevertheless, there are two applications that are already widely used across Microsoft. And so one is the personalizer that you already mentioned. So as part of cognitive services, it uses a type of reinforcement learning, for example, for personalization. The other is in the exciting work that the Autonomous Systems Group is doing, where reinforcement learning is used for industrial control. Both of those are very exciting application areas, but I'm convinced with reinforcement learning being such a general technology, there's going to be amazing new applications, some of which we can't even imagine yet. In our team, we're specifically looking at applications in video games. One, because video games are a hugely exciting and influential kind of space to affect. And at the same time, because it kind of allows us to test out some of this technology with in mind building up towards other real world applications. So for example, coming back to this idea of having agents that learn to collaborate with human players, once we understand the foundations of that, we can then imagine taking this, for example, into the space of virtual assistants and translating this technology into other application areas. And then finally, I'm also super excited to see what kinds of applications developers might come up with. Everyone has their own experiences, their own needs. And so I'm sure there are millions of applications that we haven't even thought about yet.
That is amazing. And just so you know, we did a very quick poll on how encouraged people are by Minecraft. So, you know, if people are used to the space, then they will hopefully go ahead and go to Azure ML. So we've got a few people that haven't had a chance yet. We've got a few people that play all the time and everyone that wished they could play more. So very, very positive for the fact that we'll all take learning with Minecraft any day. So thank you, Katja, for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you about the amazing collaboration you're doing with the Azure Machine Learning team.
Thank you so much for having me.
Problem. If you'd like to learn more, head over to aka.ms/AzureML-RL for reinforcement learning. Now to an old favourite,